Morning everyone. Well, we've got it. This is the first maiden voyage of the new bike, the GPX FSC 250E. It's the one with the air-cooled engine. It's the direct link PDS suspension, and first impressions are really good. I really like the power delivery on this bike. For a 250cc air-cooled engine, which is probably just under 30 brake horsepower, it's nice. It really is nice. And you open it up, it's got a quick action throttle. You open it up and it wants to pull. It really wants to pull. You can feel the back wheel spinning on the ground, digging in and ripping up. I'm impressed. I really am impressed. This is going to be a real gem of a bike. It really is. So let's have a look round it. I mean, you know, in terms of modifications so far, we're going to try and keep it minimalistic on this bike, because it is going to be a trail bike. And I thought I had a car then. Yeah, it's going to be a trail bike. We're going to keep the indicators on. And so there will be some road mileage with this bike, so it's better than a two-stroke on the road, obviously, because it's a four-stroke engine, and we're not going to have to worry about mixing fuel for two-stroke, etc. So it's going to be cheap to run as this bike. So really, modifications so far are swinging arm guards, which is a must for all my bikes, because at some point or other I will be taking this bike into some sort of rough terrain, you know, where it might get scratched up on rocks and things like that. So the swinging arm guards are on. We've got the lower fork protectors on it at the moment here, and we're still running the original sump guard. At some point or other we're going to be looking at changing that. Now I would think that the Enduro Engineering alloy sump guard I've got on the TSE 300 will fit this, because this to me looks like it's a modified TSE 300 frame to fit this engine in, being what it is. So first impressions, you know, from starting the bike and getting it running, the clutch feels very progressive. As the bike's warmed up, there has been a little bit more play in the cable develop. So what I'm probably going to do is look at a different clutch lever, so I can get more pull on the lever, get more adjustment there, particularly when I want to do some of those, you know, pivot turns and things like that. So you've got more of a one finger action or two finger action, and you're getting full, you know, engagement or disengagement of the clutch. So, but otherwise, you know, if you're not bothered about doing pivot turns and stuff like that, it wouldn't matter at all. But for me, I want to do probably a bit more technical riding at times on this bike. I probably want that more disengagement and engagement on the clutch. But it feels nice. But having said that, we're still in, you know, we're in its first hour of riding here, so we've got a long way to go yet. The gearbox feels really smooth. From cold, clicking it into gear, it is very quiet when it goes into gear. I mean, the engine as a whole is a very quiet engine. Other than the exhaust note, there's not a lot of mechanical noise coming from the engine as such. It is very quiet. That's my initial observations on that. The suspension, sort of riding it up and down this little road here just now, we need to do a little bit of work on suspension. It's got stock springs at the moment. The stock springs actually feel okay, but I think it's just a rebounding and dampening we just need to have a little bit of a play with. Brakes, as always with GPX stuff, the brakes are good, they feel good. Let's just look at the equipment on the bike. We've got the indicators obviously, but just to switch gear, turn the ignition off. Yeah, I'll leave it back on actually. We've got the ignition, if you can see. on there. Yeah, we've got neutral, and it gives you the gear positions as well. On the handlebars, we've got some cast alloy switch gear, which is very robust. It's not going to smash or break. In the event of like a small spill, if it were, you know, if it were plastic, it might do. On this side, on the throttle side, we've got the start, and we've got the kill, which you can hear the fuel pump activate when you flick it over. I'll flick it over again. And see, hydraulic brake, very similar to a Brembo, and obviously a cable clutch on this side, which we were going to look at just changing the lever on. But so far, so good. It's ticked all the boxes that I wanted. It really has. In terms of you know, its performance, it's got plenty for performance, and 4-stroke. It's going to be fuel efficient, going to be cheap to run. That's what I wanted. So we can run this bike sort of week to week throughout the winter, and even, you know, all year round really. When I don't want to use the 300 or I don't want to use the 450, the 450 and the 300 are for those bigger occasions. So I can keep those, you know, the hours sort of down on them. This can do a lot of hours. It's going to be low maintenance. Oil changes are probably going to be in the region of, depending on how I ride it, between, you know, 1,000 and 1,500 miles, because it's a fairly low stressed engine. But just talking about the engine, same engine as what's in the Honda CRF 250F. Now that bike you cannot buy in the UK. It's available in Brazil and in America, and the engine is made by Lonsin. I'll talk a lot more about the engine on the next video, because there's lots of scope to do with this bike. There's a lot of scope, and I'm talking cost effective upgrades which will give more performance, massive more performance if you want it. I'll talk about that later. So yeah, first ride, I'm happy. Let's have a bit of a spin round. Lots of pull. See, somebody's been fly tipping here. Oh yeah, I'm really impressed with the power on it. Nice and progressive. It's got a bit of go if you want it. Dropping to the bottom. So there we are. That is the first ride on the GPX TSE 250E. I am impressed. What a package, what a nice package. If you are, or if you have been looking at this model what's coming to the UK just recently, and you've been sat on the fence, I don't think you'd be disappointed, to be honest. You know, my first impressions, I'm blown away by it really. I really like the power delivery on the engine. It's smooth, there's no vibrations. Yeah, it's good. It is good. I'm really happy. And like, you know, a few little things to do. You know, like we'll just sort the clutch. I'll just get a different clutch lever what's got a little bit more pull. Might be able to modify that or one or other. And just a bit of a suspension adjustment. I think I'm pretty happy with the springs as they are. It feels the rebound and dampening this needs playing with, but that's for another day. But yeah, FSC 258, direct link, EFI. Yeah, it's good. It's a good bike. Yeah, I'm not disappointed. So let's get it home, get it washed off, and then look at planning a ride with it at some point. Let's do it.